we're getting off here at the Campbell Industrial area. Make our way down to probably the deepest part. And get this flat rack dropped off. So we dropped off the flat rack with the metal out at Campbell. We ran next door to a mobile trailer outfit. Picked up an empty chassis that we took back to the International Shipping Terminal, Pier 1. Swung by our terminal, picked up some paperwork, and then came down here to the telephone company and picked up this empty 40-foot container. We're going to take that to the shipping terminal, Staten Island. Get rid of this empty container and then pick up another flat rack headed out to the Campbell Industrial area. Same place we took the first one. Big circle around and around. So we'll make our way along Nimitz Highway here and we'll get onto the Staten Island access road. That'll take us out to the shipping terminal. I think that makes this the fourth movement of the day. Interstate's almost 4 miles. steering wheel right on the next to this. And then they also have making our way back to town. That's it. We can shut it down. It's 3 o'clock. Idle off. Didn't have that on the old truck. Air conditioning off. Engine off. So yeah, we're slowly but surely trying to dial it in, trying to figure out where to put things. You know, there's little things like this isn't secure yet, but there's a hole there, and I know if I put a zip tie through it and put like a bolt on the inside, it'll hold the fan in that position. That'll work pretty good. The seatbelt thing is off for some reason. It's got the electronic logs. You can see about either disconnecting that or just throw it inside the dash here. There's more wires. There's also more wires behind here. So I'm trying to figure out where to put things. But right now I'm going to go work on getting my toolbox off my old truck and put it on the back of this truck. That's going to take some MacGyvering. But get started on it at least. Yeah. All in all, pretty good day. We came in at 5. We had our safety meeting that lasted 2 hours. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movements. We drove 122 miles. Considering this truck moves a lot slower than what I'm used to, it's pretty normal. It'll get better as I get more and more used to the truck. But that is it for today. We're gonna head on home and cook up a pizza and salad and leftovers. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.